Hi Stratford School, Mrs. Caravan here. Welcome back to my science lab. So today's lab, you're going to need an adult present because we're going to be using a little tiny bit of fire. Okay, so make sure you have an adult to do this experiment. Otherwise you can just watch the video and see what happens. Okay, so for this experiment, we're going to be making a hard-boiled egg magically get sucked into a jar. Okay, so you're going to need one hard-boiled egg, one jar with the opening that is just a tiny bit smaller than your egg, a little piece of scrap paper, and a lighter. Your parent or guardian or adult will be helping you with that part, and a wet washcloth. Okay, so the first thing you do is you're going to need your adult to light your paper on fire. You're going to drop that in the jar and put your egg right on top and watch what happens. The egg magically got sucked into the jar. So what happened here? So by putting that piece of paper in there, you heated up the air molecules inside that jar. By heating up those molecules, they move around faster and they create more pressure. So when you stuck the egg on the top, it sealed up that jar and the fire made more pressure inside that jar. And then when the fire went out, the temperature inside the jar decreased, causing that pressure to go down. So now there was more pressure outside of the jar. So the outside pressure pushed that egg into the jar where there was lower pressure. So now how do we get the egg out of the jar? So we need to reverse that process somehow. So we need to create more pressure inside that jar again so that it'll push the egg back out. So the first thing we gotta do is get that paper and yucky stuff from burning inside there out. So I'm gonna pause this while I rinse out my jar and get that paper out. Okay, so now I've got my jar with the egg in it. To get the egg out, first thing you need to do is take your washcloth and heat it up in the microwave for about 30 seconds so it gets nice and steamy hot. Then you're gonna take your jar and flip it over so the egg sits nicely in the opening. You're gonna blow as hard as you can into that egg. So hold it upside down and blow into it as hard as you can to get some air pressure inside of your jar. Okay, and then you're gonna wrap your washcloth around the jar. And if you're lucky, you will get your egg to come back out again. Because that warm washcloth should help create some pressure to get that to come back out. Might have to give it a few tries. I'm going to try again. That didn't seem to, I don't think the egg is sitting quite down. Try again here. Okay, let's see. I got to sit with it. See if it'll come out now. If I can warm up that air inside the jar, the egg will come out. I think it's starting to move. So the air inside's getting warmed, and so that pressure inside is building, and the egg, I think, is going to come out. It's starting to. It's halfway out. Come on. This might take a few tries to get that air warm inside. But it's almost out. It's coming. I'll give it a few more seconds here. It's trying. I think it's far enough out that I could probably grab it now. But so it's halfway out, and I think I can probably just pull, oh, maybe not. So I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna warm up my washcloth a little bit more. Okay, so I put it back in the microwave. It's steaming hot now. So your parent might need to help you with this part too. Hoping that I can warm it up enough to get that egg to come out. Here it comes, I think. It's almost done. It came out a little bit farther. Okay, I think I can get it out now. Ta-da! The egg came out of the jar. So the tricky part's getting it back out of the jar. So make sure you have a parent help you with this experiment. Have fun!